Have you seen a duck around here? I thought I saw one, and I was trying to call him over. Wait, there he is. While you're here, why don't I show you how to make one of these double reed instruments? All you need is a straw, a pair of scissors, and a spoon. Making this instrument is really simple. There are only 3 steps. First, we need to smash down the end of the straw to flatten it out. Next, use your spoon to help press your straw against the table, flattening out the last ½ inch or so. Then, very carefully, trim off the corners of the flat side of the straw. You're just barely taking off the edge, trying to keep as much of the middle there as possible. Notice how you now have 2 small flaps at the end of the straw. This will be your double reed. As you blow through the straw, these 2 flaps should vibrate against one another to create a sound. Lastly, to play it, curl your lips over your teeth and press them just over the flattened part of the straw. Keep your lips pressed together as you blow lots of air through the mouthpiece. If you find the right angle, the 2 pieces of straw will vibrate together, creating a buzzing sound. If you don't hear anything at first, you can try flattening the straw a little bit more or adjusting where you place your lips on the mouthpiece. You will also need a lot of air for this. Now, let's make a hypothesis or a guess. If we snip off some of the straw, will it change the sound? And if so, will the pitch go higher or lower? What do you think? If you think once the straw is cut that the pitch will go higher, raise your hand. If you believe the pitch will go lower, raise your hand. And if you think the pitch will stay the same and not change at all, raise your hand. Let's find out. In case it was difficult to hear, this is what my straw sounds like now. It's definitely higher pitched. Why do you think the pitch got higher when I cut the straw. If we think back to what we learned about flutes, the bigger the air column, the lower the note. And likewise, the shorter the air column, the higher the note. Therefore, a smaller air column yielded a higher pitch. What do you think would happen if we took another straw, folded up the tip, and placed it inside of our mouthpiece? Would the pitch get higher or lower? Make your hypothesis. Now, let's find out. I'm going to fold the tip of this straw and place it inside of my first straw. And then, let's see what happens to the note. It got lower. Why did the note get lower? Because we increased the amount of air that was vibrating. More air vibrates at a slower pace, which yields a lower pitch. Let's jam a bit with our double reed instruments. That was fun. Now, let's talk a little bit about the instrument that we created. Does it belong to the strings, percussion, brass, or woodwind family? What do you think? Well, we use our air to produce the sound, but we don't buzz our lips. So, it's a woodwind. In the woodwind family, we have a few different types of instruments. We've seen the flutes before, which generally have some sort of hole you can blow into to create the sound. There are also reed instruments, such as the clarinet and saxophone, which have a small piece called a reed that vibrates against the mouthpiece to create sound. Today, we're talking about double reed instruments, which have two reeds that vibrate against one another to create sound. A few examples of this in the orchestra would be the oboe, bassoon, and English horn. Let's listen to the oboe in the context of the orchestra. Would you like to learn a little bit more about the oboe? I would. We have a special guest from the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra who can tell us all about it.
Hello, my name is Dwight Perry, and I'm the principal oboist of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. I would like to introduce you to my instrument, the oboe, which is the soprano member of the double reed family, so called because of the reed itself, which I'll talk about in a moment. This instrument is known for having a distinctively beautiful sound and also for being a featured solo instrument in many settings, including band and orchestra repertoire. It is also known for being notoriously difficult, in fact, one of the most difficult instruments to play. It's kind of an unforgiving instrument in the way that you have to approach the technique of playing. It requires a lot of precision and care. But the main difficulty is in the reed itself and how we have to produce the sound. This is a double reed, and oboe players learn to make these by hand. We scrape them with special knives. You can purchase them, however, when you're first learning. As you can see, there's a very small hole or aperture through which we blow, and the vibrations of these two pieces of grass are what produce the sound. So the oboe reed on its own is a little bit silly, but it hopefully translates into something more beautiful inside the instrument. Because of the difficulties of playing the oboe, it's probably best approached by a young player who has some experience with music already, either singing or piano, or at best would be if you've played other woodwind instruments and then you want to transition to the oboe. However, it's not impossible, and if you are ready to take it seriously and want to dedicate yourself to music and to the oboe, you can dive right in and just learn this instrument. Learning to play any instrument can be tremendously rewarding and fun, and overcoming the challenges is itself a great reward. And the oboe is no exception to that, and in particular, some of the most beautiful melodies are reserved for the oboe, and we have the privilege of getting to play them. So to wrap up this little introduction, I thought I'd play three very short excerpts from three composers, Rossini, J.S. Bach, and John Williams. Thank you for listening.
Here's a DIY project you can try on your own. Make a few double reed instruments of different sizes and then see if you can order them from lowest pitch to highest pitch. Then pick your favorite and play it for your class. Thank you for joining me today in learning about double reed instruments and making one from a simple drinking straw. I'm Miss Liz from the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra's Sound Discoveries program. See you soon!